Donald J. Trump. Donald J. Trump's administration was legally required to release all of the Jeffrey Epstein files, all of them. But the law contained, right, loopholes. Loopholes in which Donald Trump's Department of Justice used. Oh, yeah. Donald Trump's Department of Justice used loopholes to withhold millions of pages from the Epstein files. That's right. See, Donald Trump, he signed the Bipartisan Epstein Files Transparency Act. They call it the EFTA. And he signed that back in November of 2025. Now, that statute mandated that the Attorney General at that time publicly release all unclassified records, communications, and investigative materials related to Jeffrey Epstein within 30 days. However, Donald Trump's administration bypassed a full disclosure, right, through specific legal mechanisms, right? Statutory exemptions. They use loopholes to not release like almost 3 million files. So the EFTA text explicitly allowed the Department of Justice to withhold information to protect alleged victim privacy and avoid jeopardizing, quote unquote, active federal investigations, end quote. The Trump administration heavily leaned on these expectations, utilizing them to keep over 3 million pages sealed and to black out extensive portions of the 3.5 million pages they never published. The law required the Department of Justice to submit a detailed written justification to Congress for every single blackout. But instead of doing this, Donald Trump's Department of Justice issued a single blanket statement claiming that their redactions generally align with the law. They did not provide the line-by-line justification that the statute demanded. The Department of Justice for Donald Trump withheld a massive volume of documents by citing, quote-unquote, attorney-client privilege and the need to, quote-unquote, protect internal department deliberations, end quote. This provoked a major backlash, you guys, from the bill's authors because the EFTA, right, specifically states that the files cannot be withheld over reputational harm, embarrassment, or political sensitivity. Now, because Donald Trump's administration used these tactics to restrict the release, I told y'all last night about that federal judge, Emmett Sullivan. He officially ruled that the Department of Justice violated the very law that President Donald Trump himself signed. And Judge Sullivan noted that the administration missed the statutory deadline by over 6 months and ordered them to immediately produce the missing information. Are you not listening to me? You don't believe me? Put it on the screen. Yo, put it on the screen. Yeah, no, that one right there. Yeah. Todd Blanche. Oh, y'all know I get surgical with this thing. You know I get surgical with this thing. Smash the like button. I don't know why y'all don't subscribe. I give y'all the best information out here. Period. Todd Blanche conceded violating the law on the Epstein files. The judge finds Donald Trump, he hired and put Todd Blanche in that position. This is Donald Trump's pick. Oh, this thing fitting to get deep now. It's fitting to get deep now. I know y'all want, I know I know y'all don't want to get deep like this. I know you don't want to get deep like this, y'all. We got to get deep, deeper and deeper. Let's read this real quick. Show y'all what it say. It's crazy. The Justice Department has effectively conceded it is violating the law. Let me repeat myself again. See, they can't come in here and say, hey, Ticket, man, I'm telling you, man, you're making this stuff. No. Donald Trump's own Department of Justice, right? These are the people he appointed. He appointed Todd Blanche. He fired old girl and moved her out the way so he could slide her out the way from being put up there in front of the committee to speak about the Epstein files. He put Todd Blanche in there at the last second. Y'all already know what happened. The Justice Department has effectively conceded that it is violating the law Congress passed on last November, requiring public release of the vast majority of records related to the convicted sex offender Jeffrey Epstein, a federal judge declared on Thursday. Y'all really want to do this? U.S. District Judge Emmett Sullivan and Acting Attorney General Todd Blanche essentially U.S. District Judge Emmett Sullivan said that Active Attorney General Todd Blanche essentially admitted the violations by failing to address allegations from independent journalist Katie Fang in a lawsuit seeking broader access to those records, including allegations against, let me outline this right here, President Donald Trump. You mean to tell me they got more allegations against the President of the United States, Donald Trump, and these Epstein files, and they're not showing y'all? They want to hide these ones. Why is that? Why aren't they showing them? You got to ask this question. Once again, we already saw the other ones that they've already released. Why they ain't showing these ones? If you release the other ones, what's going to be the harm of releasing these other ones? Oh, are these other ones worse than the other ones? Let's keep going. The Attorney General does not respond substantially to any of these arguments. Sullivan, an appointee of President Bill Clinton, wrote in the opinion. The Attorney General has conceded that he is in a violation of the act. So Donald Trump's, his own pick, is saying, yeah, I did violate it. I violated. I didn't release all the files. Sullivan also issued a preliminary injunction that gives Blanche 1 week to release certain names and other information redacted from the Department of Justice from the millions of pages of the Epstein files, or provide a more detailed explanation for why you withheld them. Right? Records subject to Sullivan's order include notes of FBI interviews with a woman who has alleged that in the 1980s she was about 1-3, you see, right there. Y'all can read. Years old. Epstein introduced her to Donald Trump, who in turn assaulted her. See, y'all gonna come on now. Don't get quiet in the comment section. I don't need y'all to be quiet in the comment section. I need y'all to turn up. Smash the like button, share the video now. Come on now. It also covers identities of email correspondence with Epstein and 8 exchanges regarding read this word. Read these 2 words right here. A bleep video and sexual activity with, read this right here, MINORSs. Come on now. The names of the co-defendants in a draft indictment. Indictment, y'all. That means that they covered up the names of the other people that were in that federal indictment along with Jeffrey Epstein. Why did they cover up the other names of the co-conspirators with Jeffrey Epstein? Why wouldn't they release that to the world? You know what I think? I think they won't release it to the world because whose name is on the co-conspirator list? Whose name? And then the questions would be, why were they never prosecuted? Why were they never prosecuted with Jeffrey Epstein? Why was Jeffrey Epstein and Ghislaine Maxwell, out of all these years, the only two people that felt prosecution? If they had all these other co-conspirators on a draft indictment that they were going to release. Why? Ask yourself that question. Let's keep going. Let's keep going. Right? It says, it also covers the identity of email correspondence with Epstein and 8 exchanges regarding a video and sexual activity with minors. The names of co-defendants in a draft indictment, as well as the identity of potential co-conspirators and the identities of Department of Justice officials who exchanged messages about them, and quote-unquote foreign language materials that the Department of Justice says reviewers lack the skills to translate and assess for potential redactions. Donald Trump's officials, his Department of Justice officials, have emphasized that these files contain unverified and uncorroborated allegations that are not normally made public by federal law enforcement. Politico has not independently verified the allegations in these files. The Justice Department also said in a statement in January that the records include unfounded and false claims about Donald Trump. Lord have mercy, man. You can't make this up, man. President of the United States of America, man. President of the United States of America, man. However, the Epstein Files Transparency Act, passed by Congress last year and signed begrudgingly by Donald Trump after he initially urged lawmakers to reject it, forced the department's hand, leaving few exceptions, I should say, primarily aimed at protecting victims' identities. Blanche has acknowledged some redaction errors, but said they were inevitable given the timeline Congress gave the Department of Justice to assemble and disclose the files. Blanche has served as the acting head of the Justice Department since April, when Trump fired Attorney General Pam Bondi earlier this month. Trump nominated Blanche for Attorney General job. His confirmation hearing is set for next month. Right? Boy, this thing is wicked. Now you got to ask yourself, everybody listen to this video, ask yourself a question. Ask yourself a real question, y'all. What is the purpose of them not releasing those files? It's almost 3 million files and people's names that haven't even been released to y'all. The world should know this. Shouldn't all the citizens know who else was alleged co-conspirators? Who else name was on, right, the indictment list to go along with Jeffrey Epstein? Shouldn't we know? I think so. We asked for full transparency. I thought they said they was going to drain the swamp. I guess not. But it's going to get drained by a hook or by a crook, baby. You better believe that.
Hey, we always appreciate the support, and if you guys want to do so, you can use the Cash App or PayPal links. They'll be in the description box below this video or pinned at the top of the comments. The top donators will be announced every month. All right, you guys, hope y'all enjoyed the video. Like, share, and subscribe. Make sure y'all cop the merch, and make sure that you get the weight loss formula. The links to that will be in the description box below this video. Check out our next video coming up right now.